Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Oh, nice. How was your weekend? Perfect. I just wanted to say how wonderful it was to see so many of you in those live classes that I participated in with Mrs. Kiseki. Made me really, really happy that you guys had a lot of fun, and it made my day to be able to see all of your smiling faces and to just get to know some of you a little bit more and to talk with you. Sorry, the lighting is a little bit dark. It's very bright right behind me, and it's very bright from whenever I'm looking. I have all the lights and stuff on, but for some reason the lighting today is just a little bit weird. So I may look like I'm in a shadow or something, but I promise it is very light here in the living room. But you may just have a little bit of trouble seeing me, but you'll be able to see everything on my screen today. So welcome back. It is Monday. I missed you guys last week for our posting of our lesson materials and everything, but we are back and happy Monday. Make sure that you come to the family fun night that is happening this week. I will be there with Ms. Miller. We are doing sort of like a music movement activity, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure that you come. I believe it is Thursday, but your teachers will have a lot more information for you as the week goes on. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Okay, so last time we talked, and for many of you, we were working on the song Great Big House, and we were going through what we call ostinatos. Can anybody, in your own words, just go ahead and say what an ostinato is? And if you can, feel free to just say it. Yeah. So an ostinato pattern is a repeated rhythmic. These are rhythm patterns. So a repeated rhythmic or melodic. Melodic is like a melody that you would sing or play on an instrument. So it is a repeated rhythmic or melodic pattern. And this is our first ostinato that goes along with the song. Now remember, we have various ostinato patterns that can be performed using our bodies with the song Great Big House. So can everybody perform the first pattern with me? I want you to just tap it on your shoulders. Perfect. All right, everybody, you are doing that. Keep it on your shoulders. Sing the song with me when you are ready. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. Went down to the old mill stream to fetch a pail of water. Put one arm around my wife, the other around my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, fare thee well, my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, with the golden slippers on her. And what kind of notes did we have in our first one? What kind of note is that? It is a ta. We also have a second ostinato pattern. Go ahead and join me. What are we doing here? Yes, we are snapping. What two kinds of notes do we have? Like I said, for most of you, if you were on our live lesson with me on Friday, most of this is going to seem familiar, but that's okay. Reviews are great for everybody. That's how we get better and better. What two kinds of notes do we have? Yes, we do have that ta again. What's this one? It is a quarter rest. Do you make any sound on the quarter rest? It is a silent note. Speak the text that goes with it. Fare well. Fare well. Fare well. Fare well. Can you please keep speaking that pattern while I do the other pattern? So you should be doing the pattern that's on the screen. Mrs. Smith is doing something entirely different. If you are feeling ready and if you're feeling comfortable, sing the song with me whenever I begin. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. Went down to the old mill stream to fetch a pail of water. Put one arm around my wife, the other around my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, fare thee well, my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, with the golden slippers on her. And freeze. Nice. This time, I would like everybody in Mrs. Brand's class and Mrs. Hall's class to perform pattern number 1. And I would like everybody in Mrs. Kasecki's class. And then we have Brand, Hall, Kasecki. Who's our other 3rd grade teacher? Oh, yes. Perfect. So, raise your hand if you're performing this one. Raise your hand if you're performing the second one. Mrs. Smith is going to do something that may or may not be different. I want you to, as you're performing your pattern, pay attention and see if with what I am doing is the same or different than what you were doing. Pattern number 1. Pattern number 2, and ready, go. Keep your patterns going, no matter if you're doing pattern 1 or 2. Don't do what I'm doing. Keep your patterns going, regardless if they're this or this. Keep it going and sing the song with me. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. Went down to the old mill stream to fetch a pail of water. Put one arm around my wife, the other around my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, fare thee well, my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, with the golden slippers on her. And freeze. So let me ask you that question again. Was I doing something exactly the same as you, or was I doing it differently? I was doing it differently. So, my friends, I was actually performing our 3rd pattern, which sounds like this. Great, big, awesome house. Please speak and clap that with me. Great, big, awesome house. Great, big, awesome house. Ready? Keep that going. You guys sing the song. Ready, sing. Great big house in New Orleans. Fare thee well, my darling girl, fare thee well, my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, with golden slippers on her. And freeze. So you may have noticed that I dropped out singing pretty early on, and that was to challenge you a little bit. So raise your hand if you had a little bit of difficulty singing and performing that pattern together. Raise your hand if you're like, that was super, super easy, Mrs. Smith. I was just fine. Perfect. So let me bring you back to me. So if you did not have any trouble with that, that is perfect. If you had a little bit of difficulty with it, no worries. There is nothing wrong with feeling challenged and having to practice something a little bit. Mrs. Smith has to practice her piano playing all the time, and that is how we get better and better with everything. So this time, I would like everybody in Mrs. DeBecco's class to perform Great Big Awesome House. Everybody in Mrs. Halls and Brand's class. I want you to go farewell, farewell. Everybody in Mrs. Koseki's class, and I will perform this pattern with you, Mrs. Koseki's class. You guys are going to do pattern number 1. Raise your hand if you're going to do pattern number 3. Yep, this Mrs. DeBecco's class. Raise your hand if you're doing pattern number 2. Yes, that should be Mrs. Brand's and Mrs. Hall's class. And raise your hand if you're doing pattern number 1. Yes, that is me and Mrs. Koseki's class. All right, guys, so here's the order of how we are going to enter and come in. So Mrs. Koseki's class and I will come in first. Mrs. Brand's class and Mrs. Hall's class will come in second. Mrs. DeBecco's class, you guys will come in third. Once Mrs. DeBecco's class is entered, I will say, "Ready, sing." And that's when we all start singing the song. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. All right, Mrs. Koseki's class and I. 1, 2, Brand and Hall. Farewell, farewell, farewell. Mrs. DeBecco's class, ready, go. Great, big. No matter what I'm doing, friends, you keep going with your pattern. 2, ready, sing. Great big house in New Orleans, 40 stories high. Every room that I've been in filled with pumpkin pie. Went down to the old mill stream to fetch a pail of water. Put one arm around my wife, the other around my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, fare thee well, my daughter. Fare thee well, my darling girl, with the golden slippers on her. And freeze. Good, and you can put your hands down. So on a scale of like 1 to 5, can you rate how well you think you did? My hair looks crazy this morning, everybody. This piece won't chill out. So on a scale of 1 to 5, rate how well you think you did. Okay, I see some 2s. That's okay. No worries. We're grooving. We're learning. See a bunch of 5s. See a couple 1s. Hey, that's okay. We're getting better. So those are all 3 of our ostinato patterns. So whenever we put all of those patterns together, and like I said, if you were with me and Mrs. Koseki on Friday, you may know this term, but if you weren't, then this is a new one. Whenever we put all of those ostinato patterns together, they make what is called an orchestration. Now, an orchestration, say it after me, orchestration. An orchestration is a big, big fancy word that just means multiple parts go together and play in an ensemble pretty much. So an ensemble, what's an ensemble? Yeah, it's just a group of people who play and sing together. So whenever we put all of those parts together and perform an orchestration, we can show that all of these smaller aspects that we learn, like rhythm, melody, all of our volume, like our dynamics, they all get put together in these bigger projects that we always are working towards and expanding on. So, my friends, you just did an orchestration and using different body percussion. If we were in class, we would typically play those on barred instruments like xylophones, maybe bust out some drums. So we would be using instruments a lot more than our bodies. Our bodies help us to figure out those patterns, but then we would take it one step further and put it on instruments. So friends, before you leave me today, there are a couple things that you need to make sure that you accomplish for this week. Thing 1, make sure that you watch and participate with the entire music video, with the entire music lesson video. Thing number 2, you are going to submit a Flipgrid recording of yourself performing one of the ostinato patterns. You may ask, well, Mrs. Smith, how do you do that? Well, come follow me over here. Let me present. in your January 25th assignment, which is today, friends, it's going to say Flipgrid, great big house. You're going to click that. And it's going to show this pattern. You can view this. Now, this is a copy of all 3 ostinato patterns. It's also attached to your assignment right there. It says GBH, that stands for Great Big House Ostinatos. That is also something that we were working with in the lesson video. So this is a guide to help you. Your directions say, good morning. Please record yourself performing one of the ostinato patterns 4 times in a row. That just means that you're going to repeat either 1, 2, or 3, 4 times in a row. Each ostinato pattern was reviewed and discussed in today's music lesson, which we did today. To show the patterns while you record, click the book symbol in the upper right-hand corner that says Show Topic, or split your screen to view the ostinatos. So, if you need this picture as a guide to help you while you are performing, you can do that one of 2 ways. You can split your screen, which to split your screen, you're going to click this little box in the upper right-hand corner, and it's going to make your screen smaller. You can then click and drag it, pull down and adjust it. Now you need the other half of that, so you would need to go back to the assignment, click GBH ostinatos, click and pull that into the other side of your computer. That way, that way you can view both the ostinatos and the recording at the same time. So you can do it that way. Or when you hit record response, you need to make sure that you join with Google. Or you can click this little book that says Show Topic. And it's going to show the ostinatos there. When you are ready to perform, you're going to hit this red button. It's going to count you down. So whatever I'm doing now is recording. So say I wanted to do number 2. I would start. And I would say the text or the rhythms that goes with it. Fare well, fare well, fare well, fare well. That was 4 times. Or I can say the rhythm syllables like ta, 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 ta. 4 times in a row. When you are done, you can make your book go away. You hit pause. You hit next. So this is where you can edit. You really won't need to edit. You can sometimes change your background, do it again. I would start. If you are happy with it, you hit the green arrow. Name, Mr. Smith. Then you hit submit. So it's uploading. And it's a success. Then you hit complete. So I'm going to do that one more time. When you are ready, you can either split your screen like how I showed you before to view it, or when you're ready, hit record. Hit the book if you need to view the rhythms. When you speak it, you need to either say the text, like the farewell or great, big, awesome house, or you can just speak the rhythm syllables. You hit record. I'm going to do the third one. Great, big, awesome house. Great, big, awesome house. Great, big, awesome house. Great, big, awesome house. Or you can say the rhythm syllables. Ta, 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 ta. 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 When you're done, hit stop or pause. Hit next. I'm going to do the third one. If you don't need to edit anything, hit next. Type your name. My second one, so I'm just going to put number 2. Submit. And that's complete. And then whenever you are finished with that, just make sure you click Mark as done back in your Google Classroom assignment. So that was a lot of steps, but that's okay. You guys just make sure you have a whole week to do this. So you can do it at any time. You can do it today, you can do it tomorrow, you can do it Friday, you can do it even next Monday, just as long as you get this submitted by the end of the day on the 1st, on February 1st. You have a whole week to do this. So let me just go over that one more time. Watch the lesson video, submit a Flipgrid recording, click Mark as done. Those are your 3 things. If you have any questions for me, remember I have office hours every single Monday from 3 to 3:30 p.m. I always post a link in your Google Classroom. So just click it, join at 3, and I'll go over this assignment with you guys. And whatever time we have remaining, then we will play a game. So my 3rd grade friends, I hope to see many of you in office hours today. If I do not see you, have a wonderful day, and I shall hopefully see you soon. Bye, everyone.